Okay, we're going to talk about the 10 steps to healthy hormones now. And I put together this sheet, devised a plan on how people can find a really realistic change for sustainable weight loss. And each of these steps can be done either one per week, every week. So you could do step one week, and then add step 2 the second week, and so on. Or sometimes people want to go for it completely. Now, if you have done one of my detox weeks or fortnights, you will have done all of these steps all in one go. So you know how it feels to eat that way. But to make sure that we carry this on and make it sustainable, so that you're going to do this forever, because this isn't a diet, we're not going to go on it and off it. We really need to make sure that we make these habits stick. So that's why at the side, MTW, that they all about the days of the week, and you can tick off when you've done each of those steps. You take one of those sheets every single week and work on this. So let's go through the steps. First of all is step 1 is sugar. Now sugar, if we have too much, can lead to inflammation in the body. And when we've got inflammation in the body, it can lead to all sorts of diseases. Also, sugar really gives us insulin sugar spikes. And this is another thing, because once you start eating sugar, you want more and more and more. So we're going to cut out as much sugar as we can. And there we go. I've listed the things that we would need to cut out. Yes, alcohol is in there. Step 2 is water. Now your body needs to be hydrated. Every cell needs that water to function correctly throughout the day. And many women don't drink enough. And when they don't drink enough, we find that there's no weight loss. And this is because your body just isn't functioning. It's actually really thirsty. So it's simple, really. Drink more. Now, if you're finding it's really difficult, you can drink put a little bit of cordial in the bottom. Make it quite watery though. But please don't have fizzy or flavoured water, because they've got added additives that we don't really want in our body. Step 3 is all about processed foods. Again, processed foods came about in the 60s and 70s, and we started to eat all these amazing things in boxes with lots of ingredients. We loved it, all the convenience of it. But actually, all the additives and all of the added sugars and salts in those foods and fats really have not done us any good favours at all. So we need to try and cut out all processed foods as much as possible. One of the guidelines I like to use is, look, if you've got to have something processed, look at the ingredient list on the back, and if it has 5 or less ingredients, you can eat it. If not, try not to eat it. Vegetables. Now, I say vegetables are the elixir of life, especially for the 40+ woman. We need to add those vegetables because they help our body to detox any swilling around estrogens that we may have hanging around in our bodies. So we need to get that out as much as possible. And vegetables and salad is the way to do it, because it's full of fibre. But also it's got some vital vitamins and minerals that we need to help the hormones to balance, to make ourselves feel better, more alive and energetic. So try not to include potatoes in the pound of veg, and limit your fruit to just 2 pieces a day, because fruit is quite high in fructose, which is a natural sugar. But I do want you to have some fruit. 2's great, and it's got lots of fibre in it, so just stick to that. Now with protein, we need you to have it at every meal. It's as simple as that. And the main meal that probably most people aren't having it at is breakfast, which is step 6. So step 6, let's have a look at protein-based breakfasts. So here's some examples. We've got Greek yogurt with your 2 pieces of fruit with some nuts on the top. Or better still, if you could swap your breakfast cereals or toast for eggs, 2 eggs with mushrooms, tomatoes, that kind of thing. Or you could go for 2 poached eggs, smoked salmon and a whole avocado. Always go for 2 eggs if you're going to go for it. Or you can mix and match all of those types of breakfasts. The main thing is here that breakfast, every day you've got a chance of sorting out your insulin, your cortisol, by eating the right foods in the morning. And by having a protein breakfast, it will keep the blood sugars much more level than having something based around bread or breakfast cereals, which can highlight those insulin, make your insulin spike throughout the day. So make sure, if you can, to try some of the breakfasts. I know it's tricky because we've all been brought up with toast and cereal, and that's what you have for breakfast, but you will find you get so much more energy doing this protein breakfast. And have a go, at least have a go. So step 6 is the one that most people do struggle with on my plan, but have a go at it. I've got lots of different ideas as well. Step 7 is all about fats. Now, fat used to be a no-no, a complete no-no, don't eat fat. But now we do need good healthy fats within our diets to help with our digestion and again for our hormones. So we want good fats like avocados, nuts, seeds, olive oil, coconut oil, flax seeds and oily fish. Not the fats of saturated fats. So not a lot of meat fat is saturated fat, and things like fish and chips obviously are not great fats either. So stick with those that I've listed there, and they're fantastic for your hormone balancing. Now, carbohydrates, step 8, I think is a key thing if your goals are losing weight. Now, remember, this 10-step plan is for healthy hormones, not just for losing weight. So you can change this rule if you're not doing it for weight loss, but if you are doing it for weight loss and it's your main concern, you need to just have carbohydrates once a day. Now, most of us in the UK are having them 3 times a day with our meals, and when I talk about carbs, it's pasta, rice, potatoes, couscous, that kind of thing, bread, and we tend to have that, a lot of us, in the white form. So if you're going to consume any carbs, you need to have them in the brown form, and you need to have them in a smaller portion. So if you look at the plate, you just need 10% of the plate to be carbohydrate, and the rest, whole half a plate of vegetables, and the other parts just to be the protein. So that we are having some carbohydrates, so it's not completely knocking them out of your plan and daily nutrition, but we are limiting them if weight loss is your goal. If weight loss isn't your goal, then you could have them twice a day and have them as health. So try not again to have them at breakfast, but you could have them at lunch and at dinner. Now, again, if weight loss is a goal, this is not crucial. But if health is your goal, then maybe this is step 9 is what you really need to look at. Now, caffeine is, again, it's something that we've really started to drink a lot more of, really in the last 2 decades, I would say. So we find that caffeine is easily consumed. We're having it, there's lots of coffee shops around. But caffeine also is in tea and can be in fizzy drinks such as Red Bull and Coca-Cola and things like that. So caffeine, again, can really disrupt your endocrine system and really upset your hormones. So we just need to make sure that we're reducing that. Also, if you have sleep issues and hot flush issues, caffeine is the first port of call, I would always say. If someone's telling me that they're having hot flushes at night and it's making them have sleepless nights, we always look at reducing the caffeine. Now, I've put reducing there because 1 a day can actually give you good health benefits. But when you're I've had clients that are having 8, 9, 10 cups of tea and coffee every day, not having much water intake, then that's when we start to see that, it is toxic to the system. And especially again for a 40+ woman, we need to make sure that that system is not toxic. That's the last thing we need to do. Now, step 9 is all about your sleep. Now, if you've done all of the steps 1 to 8, then you'll find that the last steps, sleep, will become much easier. So again, sleep is often an issue for 40+ women for many, many reasons. Hot flushes, you may have worries and whittles on your mind, we may be too busy, we've got all sorts of things going on in our lives. So I want you to notice your quality of sleep on this step, and then when you tick on your sheet, like you can see it closer here, that you just put, how was your sleep last night? Do you feel energized in the morning when you wake up? There's a lot more about sleep. I'm going to do a completely different screen show about that one. But, once you've done all of those steps, 1 to 9 particularly, you should see a better sleep pattern completely. So make sure you get this week this sheet out. I will pop it below, and you can download it and print it off at your leisure, and then start to tick off what you've done. So have you had sugar, any sugar on Monday? No, tick it off, and blah blah blah. So try and do that and see which ones you struggle with the most, and then work on them week after week. It's all about practicing habits. If you do something 21 times, it becomes a good habit. So I want you to try and build these good habits within your eating, and then the rest will follow. So if health is your goal, this is all aimed at healthy hormones. But if weight loss is your goal, step 8 and step 6 are crucial for that. So getting your breakfast right and getting your carbohydrate levels right, and that will see a weight reducing plan as well. But really mainly it's all about your hormones. Thank you for listening.